Hello and welcome to the Jordan Experience podcast. Today this is actually this is going to be my final episode for the 21-22 school year. Don't worry, I'm a junior. I'll be back next year as a senior, so you'll have another year of Jordan Experience. However, to kind of wrap a bow on top of the I don't know, the whole gig that I'm running here, I wouldn't just kind of run through this past semester and kind of I don't know, give a little appreciation to those who made this adventure possible. So that being said, obviously this is the last show, so I want to take a second to run through the guests that I've had on so far. Our very first guest was Kylie Beller, good friend of mine, fellow GNN member. We discussed the Super Bowl, which was the Bengals and the Rams. Grateful for her to come on. That is actually, I think, our longest episode to date, so we had a really good conversation there. Next up was Seth Young. Next up was Seth Young. I had a little Q&A with him. I think that one was a little long too. I had a Q&A with him. It was a little bit more serious of a conversation, less of the, irony kind of hee that we do over here, at least that I do. But it was fun. He's been a great friend of mine for years now, and we had a very productive conversation. So I've told him this before. I don't know if he listens to these, but I appreciate him, and he's a great guy. You should definitely go talk to him. Next up, Jasmine Faulkner. She's also a fellow GNN member. She came on to talk a little bit about her class trip to Washington, D.C., because of COVID and everything. The trip that typically happens in middle school got pushed back to now, I guess. So thanks to her, we got to talk a little bit about that trip and, discuss a little bit about her experiences in the Capitol. Next up, I'm going to jump over some here, but we had Jalen White, Dylan Johnson, and Lux Brown all came on for the Senior Reflection Series, which, of course, will be continued next year when I have the whole year to talk to a bunch of seniors. I'll be a senior, but obviously I can't interview myself. Thanks to those three, Jalen White, Dylan Johnson, Lux Brown, for kind of helping me kickstart the Senior Reflection Series. So thanks to them, that's possible. Evie Slagle. Me and her did an episode, I want to say it was about 18 minutes and 40 seconds, something like that. It was very close to 20 minutes long, which is pretty long for my typical length, which is maybe a little bit over 10 minutes. We basically just complained. It was basically a 20-minute segment of complaining, but kind of in a good way, because we're not putting anybody down. Sometimes you just gotta vent and complain a little bit about things, and we had some fun. We're very good friends, and I'm forever grateful for her to come on my podcast and make that episode possible. And then Jordan Emerson, who came on to talk about the NFL draft. That was last week's episode. If you didn't see that one, make sure to check that out. Very funny guy. I've known him for a handful of years too. Love talking to him. He's a interesting character, I guess. But yeah, great dude. Thankful for him to come on and talk a little bit about the NFL draft, which of course we're both big football fans. And then of course I had some solo episodes, which I'm not going to run through the solo episodes that I did, because I'm not going to say they weren't special, because I did my thing. I talked, about X, Y, and Z, and I ran it through, and of course it was fun, and I liked doing it. But the guests are a little bit more important in my opinion. So moving on from the guests, I want to talk a little bit about what my plans for next year look like. Obviously, I already mentioned we're going to be full steam ahead with the Jordan Experience. I know these don't really get like crazy numbers of views anyway, but that was never the point. It was a creative outlet for me. So I appreciate those of you who do tune in and watch day in and day out. So you're appreciated, and I think and just know that I think of you. Anyway, we're full steam ahead through next year. Obviously, the senior reflections are going to continue throughout the year next year. I'm hoping to maybe get on some recurring guests. Like I said, Seth Young, he's a good friend of mine. He'll be a senior later. I would love to have him on more. He's such a good figure. But yeah, it's gonna be normal schedule ahead. I know I've been cranking out 2 a week because I'm working on a semester project for GNN, so I've got to speed up the process a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be normal schedule. 1 a week, if not 2, along with my regular GNN duties and work, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year. And I'm excited to see where this goes next year. And at the end of the year next year, I'll figure out what I want to do with the series. Because obviously I'll graduate and I won't be here to continue it, I guess. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're very far away from that stage in the game. So I would like to, I know it's been kind of quick, but I would like to end off with talking a little bit about the GNN itself. I started off this year, well, let me go back to last year. I had second semester last year, I had a class that was called Project More, where typically you would go over to the elementary school or the middle school and help kids, kind of tutor them, I guess. And because of COVID last year, instead of going over to the schools because they don't want you spreading anything, I basically took an online class in the library through my computer, and of course that was ran by none other than Miss Slagle, who is wonderful. She's the GOAT. Anyway, she was kind of recruiting me then last year, but we had some fun in that class. I kind of, I don't want to say. I guess I familiarized myself with, I guess, the dynamic. So this year, at the beginning of this year, I was in study hall fifth bell, and she kind of recruited me to be a library aide for that semester, which was fun. I liked the library duties, getting to sit behind the counter and that sort of thing, get some privileges. But basically, closer to the end of the semester, she convinced me to join GNN, and because I had a passion for this kind of thing, I kind of cut a deal to be able to make a podcast, and here I am today. So none of this would be possible without her. None of this would be possible without my peers in GNN welcoming me into the fold, teaching me. I will be forever grateful for them that they showed me these skills that I use every day to produce this, to do other work outside of GNN. So these are wonderful people, the nicest people that I've ever met. They really care. They're hardworking, and again, none of this would be possible without them. The wonderful group of people to be with every day, and Miss Slagle, obviously, like I already said, the GOAT. But yeah, I'll still be here. It's not going to be like the end or anything. So thank you for your time. I know it it was kind of uneventful today, but I just wanted to take a moment to tell some people that they're appreciated and kind of talk about what's it going to look like next year. So thank you for listening, and I will see you in August, I guess. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful summer. Thank you for listening.